special township board meeting to order. Could everybody rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Annette, would you mind taking the roll call?
Supervisor Morass?
Here.
Trustee Jones? Here. Trustee Carabota?
Here.
Trustee McKenzie? Here. Trustee Sweeney?
Here.
Clerk Giovannis? Not here. Assessor Susan Wellen-Frank? Not here. Highway Commissioner Walter Kuzmich? Not here.
At this time, I'm going to ask if there's any public participation either for the one specific agenda item or any non-agenda. Could you, is that Dana? Hi. Would you like to step up or?
Sure.
Thanks.
I'm Dan Gatlak.
Oh, to the podium so the tape can get that. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Dan Gatlak. I'm here to speak in favor of the resolution. I think that the voters should have an opportunity to express their views on this so that if in the event it is brought up again, some future date, the commissioners who represent this area will know where their constituents stand. In addition, they can let their county board president know where they stand as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Barbara Eastman, and I'm a resident of Maine Township, but I've also had an experience in a retail setting with selling soda and going through this whole tax. I think this resolution should be, you should have it. You don't want this tax to go through, and you want people to know that it's the wrong thing. So you want to set an example to the Cook County that you don't want this. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Hearing none, we're going to move to the sole item on the agenda. Discussion and potential action to adopt a resolution calling for an advisory referendum asking, should Cook County reject reinstating the sweetened beverage tax, i.e. the soda tax? And we're proposing this resolution because we've been contacted by various members of Cook County commissioners who represent some of the same many of the same, are Cook County commissioners that represent the constituents we do. So while this isn't looming immediately, there is a vast chance that it will loom in the future because of the deficit that Cook County is facing. So we wanted to allow our voters, as I believe Commissioner Patlak said, and also Barbara Eastman said, the opportunity to express their views. This is an advisory, non-binding, an advisory referendum that today was the last, well actually August 20th is the last day for referendums by local bodies, and so this will be on the ballot for Maine Township if it's passed. So that's why we wanted to hold this special meeting. So, having said that, I will make a motion to pass resolution number 2018-18.
Second.
Wait, I have a resolution calling for an advisory referendum in Maine Township, Cook County, Illinois, to determine whether Cook County should reject reinstating the sweetened beverage tax.
Second.
Can I waive the reading? Or should I? I'll read it. Whereas Section 8080 of the Illinois Township Code, 60 ILCS 5/8080, permits a majority of a township board to authorize an advisory question of public policy to be placed on the ballot for the next regularly scheduled election in the township. And whereas the Maine Township Board has determined that it is in the best interest of Maine Township for the Township Board to know how the residents of the township feel about Cook County's potential reinstatement of the sweet and beverage tax, soda tax. And whereas the next regularly scheduled election in the township is the general election, which is scheduled to occur on November 6, 2018. Now therefore be it hereby resolved by the Township Board of the Township of Maine, Cook County, Illinois, as follows. Section 1. The board hereby finds that all of the recitals set forth above are full, true, and correct, and are incorporated herein as a part of this resolution. Section 2. A proposition insubstantial the following form shall be submitted to the voters of the Township of Maine at the November 6, 2018 election held in the Township of Maine. Should Cook County reject reinstating the sweet and beverage tax, parentheses, soda tax, a column for yes, a column for no. Section 3. Township clerk is hereby directed to certify this resolution and the proposition set forth herein to the Cook County clerk no later than required by statute to ensure that this proposition is placed on the ballot in the Township of Maine for the November 6, 2018 general election. Section 4. The results of the election related to this referendum shall be considered by the Township Board in making future determinations regarding this issue, but they shall not be binding on the Township Board in any fashion. Section 5, this resolution shall be effective immediately upon its passage and approval. All right, so I'm assuming that the motion is seconded after having read it. I think it was seconded by you and you, right, Trustee Sweeney and Trustee Jones, right? Yeah. All right, is there, having a motion and a second, is there any further discussion? Trustee Carabotta raised his hand first.
I'd like to just summarily adopt Cook County Board of Review, Commissioner Dan Patlak's comments, and also adopt the comments of Barbara Eastman, and join in with those concerns raised by the townships that have passed similar ordinance to date. July 23 was Elk Grove Township Board. August 6 was Schaumburg Township Board. July of 2018 was Lamont Township Board. July of 23 also was Palos Township Board, and also in July 23 Palatine Township Board. A lot of the comments that were made on their record I would also concur with, and the figure that I believe was commented by Elk Grove Township Trustee Sweeney during their debate was that the county is looking at an $82 million deficit. You're looking at an $82 million deficit post-elections, when the elections are done in November. It raises a very big concern looking historically at the conduct of Cook County overall politically, that they could try to bring this tax back. And I think this resolution is, I would agree with Mr. Patlak and Ms. Eastman, that, and also adopt the comments of Supervisor Laura Morass, which I think are right on the point, that this resolution should definitely pass.
Trustee Sweeney.
I also agree with the comments that were made by Commissioner Patlak as well as Barb Eastman, and I think that, and Trustee Carabotta, referencing the 5 townships that have already previously adopted this. It's a regressive tax. It hurts the people that can least afford it. There was outcry, there was outrage when this tax happened before, but it took a long time to actually get, repeal it back. So when commissioners are elected, it's for a 4-year period. Although there's no real thoughts now that this is going to rear its ugly head again, I guess is the best way I could say it. That's not to say sometimes there's short-lived memories for people and politicians, and 2 to 3 years out, we might see something come back, because as Trustee Carabotta had just mentioned, there's a substantial deficit. And I think the Maine Township voters and the people of Maine Township are sick of seeing Cook County taxes increase and increase and increase, whether it's on gas or whether it's on soda tax or so many things. But this is certainly something that should be considered. We don't want to see it resurrected, and
it sends a message, I think, to politicians too, that we need reform and we need some spending cut before we look at always burdening the taxpayer. So we're standing up for the residents of Maine Township, and I think we're doing the right thing by phrasing it the way we have, so that we're suggesting a positive outcome on this this referendum question. I hope it passes, and I would like to make one change to the actual resolution as it stands, and consider taking out, so I would make an amendment to take out the word potential reinstatement, which is on paragraph 2. And the reason I say that is because that's sort of a suggestive word. I don't know that we necessarily need it. We don't need it legally, which is what I just confirmed with our attorney. So potential is sort of leading or suggestive as though that tax is actually going to happen, and I don't want to mislead people. It's not, you know, nothing's definitive. Even though there's been some potential rumblings, as people have said in the media, we just want to allow the voters to weigh in, and I would recommend taking the word potential out. So we vote on that.
I think we probably have to re-vote on that, which is not.
So that'll be
essentially
a
motion to
amend.
A motion to amend.
But,
Second.
hang on, the only comment I would have is, given what both of you and myself have said, and I don't want to mislead, I mean, if we take out the word potential, then it reads that it is reinstatement, which isn't happening like right now. So it would read, to know how the residents of the township feel about Cook County's reinstatement of the sweetened beverage.
I agree.
So that would be more misleading.
I agree.
Would it, if I can suggest the two words, any possible?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Possible?
All right, so I'll amend my original motion, and then the 2 seconds can amend.
Well, then
We
we
can
won't
amend.
need those.
Okay.
You can withdraw your motion if she wants to amend.
I just want to
That's what I'm
amend it.
saying.
I wanted to amend it to adopt the as
Right.
Any possible.
any possible. So to substitute the word potential with feel about Cook County's.
Any possible.
Okay, let me read it. So, whereas the Maine Township Board has determined that it is in the best interest of Maine Township for the Township Board to know how the residents of the township feel about
Any possible.
any possible Cook County.
Right.
Yeah, before Cook County, so it would say about any possible Cook County potential any possible Cook County reinstatement.
Yes, and we'll cross out potential.
You have a second?
Second.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, he seconded it.
Perfect.
So
Having a motion and a second on that, is there any further discussion on this? Oh, I do want to add something. Did anybody else? Trustee McKenzie.
I just want to say that, you know, I think this is very speculative, although I did read the article about Elk Grove, the supervisor saying, I think it was a supervisor saying that he's heard rumblings. I also read other articles saying that he would not divulge where he heard the rumblings, and to me, you know, this is too speculative to spend this kind of voting time on. We have a much bigger referendum in District 207 that is going to be on that ballot, and I think that this is going to take away from people focusing on something that is actually real and not advisory. So I also understand, and I don't know this for a fact, but my understanding is that there's only so many referendums that can be on a ballot. I'm not sure what the number is, but from my understanding, 3, did you? Okay.
But 3 from any particular, 3 from Cook
Yes.
County. 3
From Cook County. So I would think that the District 207 one is one from Cook County.
3 from us, I'm sorry.
From us, oh, okay.
From the local body. So
Okay.
Cook County's already reached their limit, which I believe this is one of them. No, can't remember. It is. So
anyway,
it's for
I
our
just,
residents.
I mean, I think that you can take a simple poll from people walking up and down the street in Maine Township and Cook County for that matter. I think 90% of the people would say they don't want this tax. I don't see why we need a referendum on the ballot. It was very loud and clear, and why it was repealed, that people were not happy and rejected it and made a lot of noise about it. So, I mean, thinking that this is going to resurrect itself just because the election is over in November, I think is very speculative. But, you know, I don't want this tax either, but I'm saying, excuse me, that I think it's speculative and I don't think it really should be a referendum.
Okay, I actually understand your point. So at the beginning, I had a similar issue, but having looked at Elk Road and having actually personally talked to our county commissioner, who does represent voters and our constituents, if it was like purely speculative that nobody had expressed any concern, then I might have the same concerns. But I have been contacted by commissioners who represent the 17th and Sylvester's office, who represent the other portion of the unincorporated area. I agree about the 207 referendum, but bringing out, I don't know, I guess, more voters for more referendums, I don't know that it would have a chilling effect on the 207 referendum. I don't know how ballot referendum questions are placed. I'm assuming 207s would go first on the ballot because it was probably put in first. I have no idea. And it's a higher taxing body, but I don't think that's really the point of this. So I do understand your concerns, but the way it's phrased, and given that I have been contacted by some people who represent our same constituency, and I will point out also that with the $82 million deficit, I have felt the impact, and so has every attorney and person who is a litigant in any preliminary hearing court at Branch 42 or 51st and Wentworth, soon to be followed by 44 Harrison and Kedzie, which are all closing. And so this goes along with what Susan Wayland Cry had been telling us, that the Skokie assessors, everybody has to come here because they're closing. They already did Skokie assessors brand because of the budgetary concerns. So the immediate effects have been felt. Closing 51st and Wentworth and Belmont and Western and Grand and Central, I'm sorry. Those are the three places. It's placing an enormous burden on the Skokie courthouse. So it isn't as speculative as I thought, because those are immediate effects that went into place this past week. And transition, they're moving judges, so I understand it won't happen in this election, because it won't. But I don't see any problem in allowing our voters to express how they feel about it. Because, while you may be able to take a poll walking down the street, there really wouldn't be, I know you didn't mean it literally. But believe it or not, I've met some people, I know you think, I'm totally against this tax, I think it's insane. But I have met some people who are, so I don't think it can do any damage. And I think it allows our residents to have a voice, where otherwise they wouldn't. So that's my comment. Anybody trusting that?
So what voice does an advisory referendum provide? Because maybe I just don't understand what the voice is, because I think that, people made it clear that they did not want this tax and it was repealed. So, I don't know what more we have to know. Our people have already spoken.
I think the point is that because there will be a whole new crop of people, perhaps, in Cook County in November, that there wouldn't be an opportunity for our voices to be heard on this issue. And that even with having done the cuts I've expressed, they're still looking to close other courtrooms. And the only solution to not doing so. They're still gonna do it, but, I mean, some tax, according to my conversation with Commissioner Morrison, there had been some discussion of this tax. So it's, even though it's a non-binding, it tells the county, whoever is in the two positions, whoever they may be, come this after November 6th, it tells them in no uncertain terms how our voters feel about it. And holds them accountable. That's the best I can answer. Anybody else?
I would just say, 2 years out, 3 years out, I mean, with the deficit that we have to look for ways to make that up. And, what I think one of the choices is to tax. And, if they look, this will give a voice to those people in Maine Township definitively to be able to say, we're against this tax. So, maybe it's time we really looked at reform in Illinois and cutting spending in Cook County. So, as a first choice as opposed to sometimes the last choice.
Did you have a comment? I thought I saw you raise. I don't mean to highlight you. I just thought I saw you raise your hand.
Yeah, I was just agreeing with you, because I don't think that the people really did have a voice before. I think that it came down to politicians believing that they were going to lose their jobs. And the same politicians who put it forward retracted. But the people didn't really get a chance to say how much we hated it. And actually, the only thing, even though that I don't really like to drink pop, the one thing that I was buying in my house was green tea. And the tax so frustrated me that, I wouldn't even buy that. It really hurts the grocery store that I was going to and so forth. But I really appreciate if the citizens would be able to say what we really feel about it.
Actually, that is a very good point, because it was retracted last time, really, because of the political fallout. And that political fallout was heard by our commissioners who was hearing it from their constituents. So rather than have that long convoluted, this is a direct message. And further, something you said, the other thing is that the implementation of this was crazy, because water was, depending on what story you went to, Walgreens had water being taxed, and also people who had diabetes, right, and nutrition drinks being taxed. So it really became a mess for not just the consumer, but the businesses upon who rely for their tax base. Who actually, having businesses helps take the tax burden off the voter. So the businesses didn't like it, and people would go to Indiana. I have many, many friends. I don't know about you guys. Personally, I didn't want to spend the gas, but and I too don't drink that much pop anymore. But people were definitely losing a lot of money and a lot of mileage, at least as far as anecdotal. Anybody else? All right. Having had a motion, a second, and I believe thorough discussion, Annette, can you call for a roll?
Supervisor Moran?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Kirabota?
Yes.
You missed it.
Trustee McKenzie?
Yes.
And Trustee Sweet?
Yes.
All right, motion passed. And I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
And we are, and then, would you like to take the vote? Sure.
Supervisor Moran?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee McKenzie?
Yes.
Trustee Kirabota?
Yes.
And Trustee Sweet?
Yes.
All right, don't go anywhere, Jim, and this. Oh, that's true, because, yeah. So we can really amend it tomorrow. And we
No,
will.
because it's PDF and I tried to put the resolution number and I couldn't do it.
I would be a board docs.
Okay.
Yeah, Word doc.
They can do it because they originate.
Oh, yeah, I figured, that's why I asked when I came
All
up.
right, so let me give you another copies.
And I have clergy allowance coming in tomorrow morning for a test.
Okay, so, all right, this is where I was confused. Oh, it was a unanimous vote. You guys actually don't have to sign. I just put down 5 ayes. And then Pete has to sign as well as yes.
Yes, to certify.
Right. So I guess my question is, you can fix page 1?
Yes.
And I'll already give page 2
Yes.
to certify. And then do you need a copy?
Just so it's just any possible.
Any
Yeah.
Cook County, put the word any in front of the county, take out the right? Can I borrow, does somebody have a copy? Good, that's what he needs. Because he's gonna make the change on their actual. County and the word